I want to show you guys kind of how my Corvallis spreadsheet works. I think it'd be useful to you. I think you'll see a lot of the same things going on this worksheet, and I'll show you another one too that you'll find useful in a career in accounting, I think. Okay, so let's see here. All right, this is how I start with your, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, all right, so as you can see, this is the solutions workbook, and it's got all the entries in it, and it's going to show you kind of what's going on. All right, so this is where I start, and this is kind of tough. I start with the actual instructions that you see, okay? And those instructions that you see, just know in this video, you're going to see amounts here, and you're going to see these amounts are only, I have to change this assignment every semester. These amounts are wrong. So sorry if you're watching this video hoping to get some answers. There'll probably be some things that you can glean from this little video here about, you know, the solutions, but I don't think it'll help you that much. I did just think of something that'll help. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hide the account number column because that's kind of giving it away. So let me hide this column. And let me hide the account name column. All right. So basically, I start with Microsoft Word document where I've got the instructions typed out. And then I just copy and paste that into Excel. And the reason I copy and paste it into Excel is because Excel is where it makes it easy to adjust it every semester. And the reason I have to adjust it every semester is because, you know, answer keys end up out there and sites and all this stuff. So I have to change it every semester for academic integrity purposes. And so Excel is the easiest place to do that. Word, you'd have to go in each time and backspace over all these different numbers here and update it with the new numbers. The thing I did before it was in Excel is I just adjusted the one entry. This workbook adjusts all entries each semester, okay? It applies a mathematical formula to the old original amount, okay? And that mathematical formula could be different for different lines, okay? So that's another thing I want to help you, but it's fairly simple. So it's going to take the adjusted factor and add the adjusted plus, see here, to the old amount. All right, so that helps keep things mixed up, but anyway, that's not something that'll really help you in your accounting career. But all throughout here, one other thing I'll show you on this is I'm concatenate. If you've got a line of text that include, this will help you in accounting. If you've got a line of text that you want to also add a number to, then so that number can be, you know, like if you're doing footnotes in a financial statement or something, where it says depreciation expense for the year ended 6/30, blah, 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 was 400,000 and 600,000 for the years ended. Here's how you do that. Ready? Here we go. You can concatenate strings. That is, put the strings in quotes, and every time, and then when you get ready to add your number, you put the ampersand sign, and then this is just saying we want to format cell J200 as a dollar, okay? And so it used the dollar formatting, sorry. And then you see here, I have another ampersand, and I start the rest of my quote. So anyway, thought that would be useful to you. So this spreadsheet and this sheet in this workbook is where I get your instructions from. When I get ready to print this to PDF, I select cells A through H, I do Control C, and then I do my shortcut that I use all the time to freeze formulas, Alt ESV. Alt ESV. You'll start to use that a lot once you ESV. Paste values, okay? So I paste values, everything here to get rid of all these formulas, and then I print it to PDF and upload it to the Corvallis, okay? Actually, no, sorry, I forgot I started this a few years ago. Your assignment instructions are just included in the original workbook that you download, okay, in module 2. That way I don't have to go through and put instructions in each module just like I used to do, okay, every time I wanted to update the amounts, which was every semester as of a couple of years ago. All right, so then we go, I really don't care about this so much from a solution standpoint and making sure a solution's right. This one here is going out and summing the values that are found on the assignment instructions. So it's just kind of putting this into table form. And tables are something as an accountant you should use a ton because it standardizes things. When you add your data as a table, which means right-clicking or clicking somewhere in the data and then going up to this home, format as table, and choose that. And what tables do is they allow you to change a formula. This is the major thing. Change a formula for a certain column in one cell. I would change it here is that column's formula, and it automatically adds it. So I just change it here to something. You go down here, see every one of them's automatically added. Okay, which is nice. So this is where all the GL kind of gets standardized, pulled into a table. This is where the balances go. Okay, the trial balances, and you see I've got one that's an old pre-closing and post-closing, and I use that old. Let me show you what a technique I use here. Let me just kind of make these more narrow where it doesn't really show much, and these originals real narrow where it doesn't really show much. This lets me know that my signs are going the right way. This is dividing pre-closing original by pre-closing. And see how the ratios are the same? The reason I do that is because in changing the amounts each semester, I don't want to get in a spot where I am having such a wacky formula that it's giving accounts receivable a credit balance at the end of the solutions, which of course I warn you against on your assignment that you submit. That's something I count off for extra. If you end up with a $2 million credit cash balance, okay, that means you got something really wrong. But number two, that you didn't even look at your trial balance and make sure it looked okay before you turned in your work. All right, so be sure you don't have credit balances for assets, credit balances for expenses, blah, 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 okay? Just like your accounting 201 class. So here's what happens. Whenever there is each time, what I do, each module, when you guys submit your work, I come over here and I take your general ledger and I paste it here out to the right on, see, I've got the same tabs you do, except I've got a lot more going on out here to the right, okay? Let me do this one actually. It's probably got the most up-to-date one. So when I copy your GL, the student's GL out here, it is going to sum it here, okay? It's summing all of your entries, and here's what it's doing. It's using a very commonly used formula, something I use all the time, sum ifs. So sum ifs, and what this does indirect is it takes like a normal reference where you're referencing another cell, and it allows you to like kind of, I'll say this one would be a good one to look up in Excel and learn how to use. It can be very helpful when you're copying and pasting formulas that use different headings. So what this one's doing is it's saying, all right, go to the GW student amount table. GW is this code up here. And so, but if this same formula were on the AF page, that exact same formula will say sum if. Indirect allows you to use the value of a cell in another cell reference. All right, so indirect, and then is the cell that, I mean, indirect is the first formula there. Indirect is saying go look at the student account, make sure the student account matches at account, okay, which is here. So it's comparing those two things, and it's making sure that the problem, so it's setting another condition, another criteria range, which is this indirect formula, and then the criteria 2 is to make sure the problem number is the same. And what that does is it adds up every entry that the student makes over here that I copied and pasted values, and it sums it. If it matches the problem number, if it matches the account number, that's what's going on, okay? So you see this latest student that I graded did pretty good. Let's see, do I see any missing ones? Oh, yeah. All right, so you see down here, the student missed a little bit on the closing entry on the last one. And then what this column does is it takes a difference, all right? And you can see the student got mostly right because it's zeros. And what this does is when I see this number, it depends on what the student got wrong, but generally this is my starting point. How many did you get right? How many did you miss? This student missed 3%, and so out of 18 points, that gives me 17.37. This student probably got an 18 just because they did good work. And this is a hard one, Module 9. So I think you should find this helpful. This is saying, oh, this is how I'm getting the percentage. Count if GW ledger, that's the table below, and the column is diff. We're going to count if the number equals 0 over count, which is going to tell me the total number, okay? And as you can see, the count there is 97%. So good. Like I said, most assuredly got an 18 on this assignment, but maybe not. If it's an assignment, everybody was getting perfect, but that one's not. So I hope you found this useful, and I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this and make sure I didn't give, too much away on how all this works. But the GL here, let's see. Yeah, I told you about it. The sum, getting it from the assignment page. So sum, here's the formulas as an accountant that you should learn. Sum ifs, use it all the time. Index match, very, very critical if I'm wanting to just duplicate some data from one table on another table, okay? So, oh yeah, here's match right here. I guess here. Looks like there's not a formula here. I'll show you how index match works. Equals index. So let's say I want to go pull the account name column again for whatever reason. Index, come over here to this table, choose account name. That's the one I want to find. That's the value I want returned, okay? Match. And what match is going to do is it's going to take account number and it's going to match it in the account number field, and the type of match we're going to do is an exact match, okay? And then close parentheses. All right, see? Now, the reason that formula didn't update all the way down is because these cells are values. This is one of those situations where I pasted values. But anyway, see there? Automatically pulls that data over from that other table. Very, very useful formula, index match, okay? I think you'll find that really helpful. And I said sum ifs, and the string functions are really, because you're going to be doing a lot of reports, so the string functions are important to learn. So anyway, I got to stop scrolling here. I'll give away too many answers, but hope you found this useful.